Hey, how about some of those pre-show jitters?
Welcome to the pre-show jitters for Zerbinator's Retrovarian. This is the first episode of Retrovarian, and I couldn't think of anyone better to have with me as a co-host but my good buddy George Papatheodorou. I've known him for about 5 years now. He lives in Kozani, Greece, and even though I've never met George, he is truly one of my closest friends. George is a very, very kind person, an incredible singer, and an incredible songwriter. George is also the reason that I'm doing this Retrovarian podcast. So thank you for that, George. At the end of every Retrovarian, you're going to hear a song that was performed by the co-host. For the past week and a half, George has been working on an incredible version of Sign of the Times. This song was written and recorded by Prince back in 1987 for the movie Sign of the Times. I've thanked George profusely, and I cannot thank him enough for going through all that work just for my show. Thank you, George, for that. So sit back and relax as we go back to June 7th of 2016 when George and I get together and discuss the history and the life of Prince. Ladies and gentlemen, from the KMAX studios here in Connecticut, the very first episode of Zerbinator's Retrovarian podcast. It's an 80s music educational podcast. So for those who grew up without the 80s in their lives, you're going to learn what it was like to live in the 80s listening to some great musicians. My good buddy George Papatheodorou is with me today. Am I saying your name correctly all these years?
Of course, you've learned it. My acts of discipline paid fruition.
In my teachings, in my learnings from my buddy George. My buddy George is all the way over in Kozani, Greece, and I am all the way over here in the Connecticut of the United States of America.
Yeah, we're a long way, but, it feels like...
We're right next door.
Yeah.
And we keep in big touch. George is a very good friend of mine. I've known him for 5? And
something like that.
We'll go on with that because later on I'm going to interview this gentleman so you can know why I chose him for the very first episode of the Retrovarian podcast. Here we go. I'm going to read what I typed for this show. This is going to be so generic because it's the first one, and that's how it goes until we get the clothes on that fit. Well, hello and welcome to the Retrovarian. Tonight with me is my good buddy, George Papatheodorou, as I told you before. Thank you for joining me tonight, too, very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And tonight we're going to discuss the history of Prince. And unfortunately, he passed away very recently, within the last month. You don't have the 80s without Prince. And you don't have music without Prince, either.
Right now, Prince is infused in every genre of popular music, I suppose. He left his mark in everything, I think.
Very true.
That's why we do this today, to celebrate his legacy, yeah.
Amen. So let's get crack-a-lackin' as we rig out to the nuclear and most triumphant sound of Prince. All music used in Zerbinator's Retrovarian was performed by Beckett, courtesy of soundcloud.com/Project Beckett. Or at www.projectbeckett.uk.
Zerbinator's Retrovarian.
Ow! Welcome to Zerbinator's Retrovarian.
Wow.
Zerbinator's Retrovarian.
Totally for sure. Ooh. Yum.
Education podcast.
Real.
Zerbinator's Retrovarian.
Whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
Zerbinator's Retrovarian.
So George,
My good friend, Kevin.
my good friend George, who is 7 hours ahead of me, what is it like in the future?
It is, after a nap and a green tea, which I'm drinking the same as yesterday and the same as today.
So not much to look forward to.
Not much to look for.
Well, I'm having a green tea as well. Mine is freezing cold. Yours is warm.
I'm drinking hot. Yeah, warm.
George is very hot. And I am so cold.
It's because of the tea.
That's what it is. Well, I'm well, too. It's a beautiful day here. It's actually quite cool. I have no air conditioner on. I think we're in the 60s right now, which is beautiful.
That is very nice. Here, the weather is one day good, one day bad, one day good. It's like a Scottish douche. I don't know how to say that.
What? Is that your way of saying hi to Doug McCoy, who happens to always talk about...
He's Scottish?
Yeah, he is. And he's the one who always talks about you saying the Grecian... The Grecian co-host on the 80 to 89
yeah,
podcast.
so I got him.
You got him back.
My name's Doug McCoy, and I like podcasts about the things that interest me. So what interests me? Movies from the 80s, anthology TV shows, and just a bunch of random junk like the Atari 2600, the Nintendo, comic books, and all that good stuff from my childhood. So if you are interested in the things I'm interested in, come to mccoycast.wordpress.com or find the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher.
Now, let me get this straight. What I'm talking about is Scottish douche. It's not, the douchebag, which
not the
it is
feminine cleaning
common.
product.
No.
Oh.
It's like taking a bath, and I've heard about that in Scotland. They do that in purpose because they want to feel the rush of the warm water and then cold water.
Oh, cool.
Warm water
I've never
and
heard
then
of this.
cold water. Yeah,
And
it's
that's a Scottish thing.
How do you say shower? Scottish shower.
Oh, Scottish shower. I like better Scottish douche. Well,
douche is a French word for your information, though.
is it?
Yeah, douche, it means shower.
Oh.
Here we use the word douche. The shower is here we say it douche.
Oh, that's awesome. And in America, back in the 80s, we would call someone a douchebag.
Yeah.
So we were calling them a shower bag.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
So weird. I never knew this.
It's spelled D-O-U-C-H-E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
I don't know.
But it's mostly on the cover of a Massengill box.
What is a Massengill box?
A Massengill is a company that would make a feminine cleaning product. Summer's Eve is a good company. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
This is an interesting conversation, but I think we should go ahead and talk about it.
It's way off topic.
Way south of what we wanted to talk about.
Tonight's featured artist.
Well, like we said, tonight's band is Prince. Prince is a band in himself. The first time that you've ever heard Prince?
Okay, the first time that I've ever heard of him was back in the 86 or 87. I'm not very sure about the year, but the first track, I Will Never Take the Place of Your Man. I Will Never Take the Place of Your Man, yeah.
That's an obscure track to hear first.
It is from the album Sign of the Times, which is a massive track. But I can never take the place of your man. Da, 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 da. Very nice song, very fun song, very cool song. And I remember seeing the video in at that point, at that time and age, MTV played music.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, and a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, and they played music. That's why they called MTV, music television. Not like now, which they play
RTV.
Reality shows.
Yeah.
RTV, yeah, right.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's very. So I was a lazy afternoon, and this video came up, and he sang the song. At a point, he started his guitar solo. And I was amazed
Oh, I
by
bet.
what this guy could do because it was a live performance. That's why I was so amazed about this guy, and I, started to research his work and his recordings because he introduced all of this album into a live show, which he published into a VHS concert.
Yeah.
So everything that it was played like a video music back then.
Yeah.
It was live.
That's awesome.
So he was always a performer. That's what I respect about the guy. He was always a performer.
When you first, you said that the solo was amazing, but when you heard his voice being a mix, to me, if I think about his voice, it's a squished up version of Sammy Davis Jr. and Little Richard mixed together to me.
Yeah.
And,
I think so. I think so too.
Yeah, and it's you put those two together and it put a little higher pitch on it. I could be wrong, but I always thought that there was a lot of Little Richard in him because of the noises that he would make during his singing.
I think he was influenced by him.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, I think he was.
But instead of going,
influenced.
he would go, which was quite different.
Oh, that's Michael Jackson. No, that's Michael Jackson.
I'm sure he was influenced by Michael Jackson.
He was like, ow!
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ow! I wonder if he hurt himself one time in the studio. And they're like, do that again.
Yeah, probably. You can hear a lot of that in the Purple Rain album.
Oh, yeah.
Various type of screams and like passion howls and all that.
But his passion howls are like pitch perfect.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So when was the first time that you heard of Prince?
Oh gosh, it would have to be Purple Rain, and it was honestly, and I hate saying that because that's the word of the month. Around here, everybody wants to say honestly because what they've told you before was all a complete lie. But that's a little American lingo for you there. I'm sure in Greece you all go, hey, how much is this piece of jewelry? Honestly? Or do you want me to tell you a lie? Honestly, it was, I think it was 1999 was the first song I heard. And it had that huge, fat, polyphonic keyboard sound.
Da, da, da. Yeah.
And the tom-tom sound, which sounded like cracking...
the Simmons,
but it sounded like 5-gallon paint buckets.
Yeah.
And it was so weird. And then it showed up again, of course, in When Doves Cry. But anyway, 1999, and just the power of it. And then, of course, the first lyric in the song. Ow! That's the first lyric in it. And then it goes straight into... And then, I was dreaming when I wrote this. And I was like, that's awesome!
Yeah.
Those songs come up dreaming when you wrote it. And it's just amazing. And that took me in. I was hooked. And then the voice changed. Life is just a party and parties was meant to last. And then all of a sudden he came in. And then he's back to, ow! And it was just perfect.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And the video clip was amazing too.
And that too, it was just a big party. And I thought, wow, I hope I live to be in 1999. Because I heard this, it was like
1981, I think, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. Something like that.
1999 was a million years away.
Yeah, it was the future, baby. Unlike... we will not have cars. We will have floating cars.
Yeah, that's right. Hydro vehicles that float 20 feet above the air. At least that's what Michael J. Fox said.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was it. What is your utmost favorite song that Prince has ever done? I know it's hard to pick.
Yeah, it's very hard to pick, but I think it is from the Sign of the Times album.
Okay, you're going way back.
Yeah, I'm going in '87 again, but let me think. Just one moment, I have to go check
Take
my
your time.
CDs.
Thank God for editing.
Yeah.
We have a caller. You're next live on the Retrovarian. What can I do for you? Hello? Hello? You're live. You missed it. You missed
Sorry.
it. Somebody.
I've heard it.
Oh, you heard the call?
Yeah.
Someone called. It was from Choice Electricity.
Yeah, and you said, hello, you're live.
Yeah, I said, you're live. And they went, click. Hello?
Yeah, you crack me up, man.
I love doing that to people because they're like, sorry, wrong number. And they hang up. Even if I'm not recording. You're live here on Sexual Preference. What's your name?
What the hell is that?
Would you like to switch your electricity company? All right, back into the show. Sorry.
Okay. So, it has to be sign of the times, man.
All that work and it was the title track?
I wasn't sure about that because I had to see all the tracks and none of them, clicked. So it has to be sign of the times.
The title track? Awesome.
Yeah, because it was the first lyric video that I ever saw.
Yeah.
I've ever seen, a lyric video back in the days.
Cool. That is very cool.
So it was his way to focus on what he was saying and the rhythm section and the groove section of the song. It is amazing.
Yeah.
If you hear that, he played that in a live show with a full band, not with a sequence and a drum machine, you will shit your pants, man.
Shock Jock, George Papa Theodoro, live on the Retrovarian.
Amazing rhythm work.
Yeah, I have to say, you know what? I'm busting my brain trying to remember the song. I don't think I've heard this yet. And I think I need to check my roots.
In France, a skinny man died of a big disease with a little name. By chance, his girlfriend came across the Netherlands. Soon she did the same. I'm sure you have heard of that. But
I'll have to
anyway,
listen again. I like listening to you do it. You're gonna ever? Well, here's the next question, real quick, and then I will ask a very important question. But have you ever seen Prince live?
Unfortunately, no.
Same here.
Nah.
Same here. My wife and I both, when he passed, the first words out of our mouth was, we wanted to see him live.
Unfortunately.
It costs a lot of money to see Prince live.
I suppose.
Concerts were. He was very private, if I can interject this information. He was very private with his music. It was very hard to find YouTube clips of concerts or anything like that.
He put it all down.
He didn't let him. And he worked very hard to keep his stuff with him.
Yeah.
But after he passed away, you look now and you can find quite a bit. And I think he allowed everything after he passed.
Yeah, I suppose it's a publishing thing. I don't know exactly what it is, the legal, what it was, the legal issue, and what it applies now. But the thing is with Prince that I think he wanted his work to be distributed and be heard in the best possible way.
I heard him say that on an interview.
Yeah, and YouTube, to be honest, is not the best listening experience. And also, I don't think the artist gets paid as it should be. And also, that point is equally important with Spotify. I don't know if you heard some talk about this.
No, I haven't, but I know that Like the Monkees album, the newest Monkees album was released this past couple of weeks, and it's on Spotify, well ahead of anybody else. And I don't know if they're happy with that.
Yeah, the thing with Spotify is that artists don't get paid through Spotify. They pay very little money or none at all.
If any, yeah.
If any. And many artists do not want that because the publishers and the record companies get, the big share of the money, and artists get none. So Prince was all about that. Prince was about getting the artist paid first and foremost, and then everybody else, the managers and the record companies and all that.
This is a piece of trivia I wanted to discuss later, but we can talk about it now because we're on the subject. The reason that he changed his name to his symbol was because of that detail, right? That he was trying to get the rights back for his music, and if he changed from Prince to a symbol, then anything he did under that symbol was his. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Anything he did from that point on, it was published by NPG Music, which he owned it, which in terms he owned his masters, his master recordings.
Genius.
Which, yeah. At that point of time, when I first saw Slave, written down his cheek at his live performances, I was like, okay, he's going mental.
Exactly, including. And when I saw his symbol, I thought he was really out there.
And he got too much heat from the press about doing that. So what should we call you? What your fans should call you? And he was like this spiritual guy, and my fans don't have to pronounce my name. And he got a lot of heat from the press about that. But it was, in fact, a very smart move.
And it saved him quite a bit because his music wasn't going to be, for lack of a better word, it wasn't going to be hoarded out all over the country by different divisions of companies that were trying to just chew him alive.
Yeah, suppose if you have that record companies, the big record companies, they present you with a contract, and you sign like forever, and you have to produce by their standards.
Yeah.
And managers say what you should publish and what you should not publish, what you should record and what not, which is,
taking away your freedom of creativity.
Which is awful. So he wanted to rebel against that, and he rightly do so, in my opinion.
It was a smart move. And back then, I'm with you. I thought he was crazy, but learning this now, that was an amazing move. All right, well, here's my last question for you for tonight, and I'm hoping you're going to say yes. And if not, will you ever cover a song by Prince? Or have you heard, well, there's tons of other people that have covered, but to answer my question, which eventually I will get out because I don't know how to ask it, Georgie Poo, will you ever cover a Prince song, or have you ever covered a Prince song in your music that you've
I have played live a Prince song.
Which one?
I have played Let's Go Crazy.
And did you go crazy?
Yeah.
And that's a fun
Punch
song.
a high floor.
Did you sing it?
Yes.
Oh my
I sang
Lord.
it. I sang it. Sang it?
Yeah, you sang it.
I sang it. And I played the solo, which was a difficult solo to, get a grip with a wah-wah. But it was amazing. Yeah, very cool song.
Any hopeful chance there's a recording of this that I could put at the end of the show?
Do you think we should? Yeah.
Sure,
Why
it's
not?
a cover. You can put a cover in a show.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy, honest?
No, I don't. I can re-record that.
Oh my gosh, no, I don't want to take up all that time. Unless if you don't mind, I would love to put it.
Look, I was
Born to
thinking.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that too. I was thinking of doing, the sign of the times, because I have found a way to cover it. to do it, differently.
I would love that. I would love that. And if it's okay, I'll put it at the end of the show.
Yeah, why not?
George, I love you.
Yeah. How much time do we have until
I would probably have this one out within a week of today. So next Wednesday, probably.
Next Wednesday. So
Is
I
that
have
too
to
short
work.
of a time?
I will try to produce it in this weekend.
God bless you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the
I
end
dig
of the
it.
show tonight, we're going to have a song by George Papatheodoro in respect to Prince, and that's going to be awesome, too. And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was a nice idea.
Well, what I'm going to do is go down a very quick and brief history of Prince the musician. He was born yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, born June 7th, 1958. God bless you, Prince. Perfect time to record the show. Happy birthday.
Do you know that Prince didn't celebrate his birthday from a point on when he became a Jehovah's Witness, I think? He thought if you count birthdays,
Yeah.
you only had one birthday in your life. One birthday.
Ah, so he didn't
So-
celebrate the...
Yeah. He was very spiritual in that term. He didn't want to. Yeah, he didn't want to repeat that date, as he called.
Well, I'm gonna say happy birthday because that's...
Yeah,
But I respect his wishes.
yeah, he was like a very spiritual guy.
And he was actually born Prince Rogers Nelson? Or was he born, like, Kirk?
No, he was born Prince Rogers Nelson. His father was a musician, a jazz musician. That's why he gave him,
A cool
an
name.
extraordinary name.
So his father
for
was
an
the king.
I suppose.
But Prince, if you didn't know, of course, is an American singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, record producer, actor, all of around nice guy, 4 feet tall.
4 feet, yeah. He was short.
He was a short guy, but I've noticed that short people, and for some strange reason, I don't know if it's just me, but people that do not have a butt are very, very talented. Jerry Lewis, incredible genius, an incredible comedian, an incredible film guy, director, teacher, everything, no ass.
No ass.
No
So,
ass.
for the lack of ass, it comes up in talent.
It does. The no-ass talent makes it in life.
Why?
I don't know. But Prince had an ass, apparently. But he
I
was
suppose
short.
so. Yeah,
Not
he
that
was
I
short.
looked at Prince's ass all the time. And this really has nothing to do with the history. Well, it does.
Maybe he showed it a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, he
At
did.
least
He stuck it out there quite a bit.
Do you know he played basketball?
No, I didn't. Was he good at it?
Yeah, he was very good. He was talking, trash with basketball players because he had famous basketball players come around and play him with Michael Jordan, I think. And he came around his house and played basketball, and Prince was trash mouthing him.
I would love to see video of this.
There is a video on YouTube which Michael Jordan himself talks about this.
I would love to see this. I'm going to have to check that out.
He was a cocky guy.
I imagine, because I heard about on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon that he challenged him to that
To the ping pong
game. Yeah, and are you ready for this? And he was holding the ping pong. Let's go. You're the.
The last quote from the drummer in that video is, "Hey Prince, where are you going?
After the game.
The ping pong? Yeah, after the game." And he said, "Ask your boy."
He says, "Yeah, how did the game go?" Ask your boy. And then the window goes up.
I laughed my ass off.
2 YouTube clips you should check out. Michael Jordan, Jimmy Fallon with Prince. He sold over 100 million records worldwide in a time where there was no downloads.
Yeah.
And went nuts with it.
People actually bought music those days.
Yeah. Actually went to a store to find out what the music was like. You might have gotten a song or two
on the radio.
Ahead of time.
Or from a friend of yours,
Yeah.
Like me, I had a friend of mine who was, a Prince aficionado, and he was...
Japanese releases and things like that, or what?
No, he had a Purple Rain within his... the vinyl was purple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not many
it
of
was
those out there.
Amazing. By the way, he's Manolis, the guy I'm talking
yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah,
He introduced me to Prince. I
Gotcha.
didn't know he was a great fan of Prince's. And when I met him at the first time, and we went at his house, and have you heard of this guy? And he put on Purple Rain, which haven't heard all the album.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to Darling Nikki. I don't know if you heard that
Yep.
song.
I knew a girl named Nikki.
Ow.
Say she was a sex queen.
I was blown away, and I took his vinyl and I kept it for a month, and he he kept calling back. Where's my vinyl?
Man? Now, those who don't know Manolis, and I gotta say it, Manolis Mumzias is a good friend of ours. He is the one who wrote all of the music that you hear in the podcast 80 to 89. All of the music during the show is music that Manolis wrote.
Yeah, he introduced me to some great music. He was, a guy who liked different, and he had a good taste in music, mostly black music. That's why I was intrigued, because I wasn't much aware of, the spectrum of black music.
Especially in the 80s, like the group The Time.
Yeah. He introduced me to Time. He loved the Time.
And Time was
he loves
definitely a product of Prince. It had to be, because it sounded just like him.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The Time, Vanity 6, Apollonia 6.
Yeah.
The Family, Sheila E.,
Yeah.
Wendy and Lisa, and the list goes on, man.
Well, and then you got to take in account of all the songs that he wrote for other musicians and didn't even take credit for.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, his styles, it includes funk, rock, R&B, new wave, soul, psychedelia, and pop.
Pop!
I'm such a crappy DJ. I love DJ voice, so I always make fun of it. He won 7 Grammy Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and an award from the Academy for Purple Rain, and was introduced to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004. This kid is a miracle.
You Americans must be proud to have such great musicians.
Thank God. Yeah, we got really lucky. And I love in his history, in 1993, while in a contractual dispute with Warner Brothers Records, he changed his name to Symbol, and that just shows the symbol.
Symbol.
In an unpronounceable symbol, also known as the love symbol, and began releasing all of his new music under that symbol, and fixed his contractual obligations.
Yeah.
And stopped getting ripped off. And then, poor guy.
He didn't want, the managers getting money off of him. I suppose he was some douchebag.
Maybe he took a lot of Scottish showers.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking. So that's a good roundup history of Prince. He was born a little kid and then unfortunately passed away April 21st of this year, and it was because of prescriptions for painkillers, and he just got too addicted, or was it more?
So he got addicted in opiates.
Yeah.
The official report states he died from a fentanyl overdose.
Yeah.
At his Paisley Park recording studio, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
He was too incredible, but you could tell that the first time that he went to the hospital off the plane, and they took him to the hospital real quick, I thought, oh gosh, he must have he just too much exhaustion maybe from a concert, and I started worrying then as if it was a family member. I was like, oh God, what's happening now? We're going to lose another one.
Yeah, 2016. It is
Death of the rock stars.
Yeah, it's an odd year. Hope we don't get any more casualties.
Yeah, I hope so too. I like that. The casualty year of 2016.
Yeah, it
right.
is the casualty year.
Yeah. There are some I wish would go, but they took the wrong ones. I'm not going to mention who I thought should go, but
Is it a politician?
Quit trying to trump the conversation there, my friend.
Okay.
All right, so what we're going to do is this. And this is going to be an attempt, and I hope it works, ladies and gentlemen. My good buddy, George, and I are going to... He looks excited.
Yeah.
We are going to give you an 80s video commentary of an 80s song by George's choice. We're going to watch the video and tell you our thoughts and how we interpret the video. And you could watch along with us if you are not driving, walking, or whatever you do when you listen. Or do this later. Come back to the show and please... watch a video with us and see how you feel. And the only thing is you're going to have to mute the video because for legality purposes, I'm going to have to put a karaoke version of the song in the background. Just know that. And then we're going to count down to the play button. We're going to give it a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beep. And then you watch the video. Did you pick a song, George? Can be anybody, anything?
Pat Benatar.
Oh, okay. What song?
Love is a Battlefield.
Perfect. Pat Benatar, Love is a Battlefield.
It doesn't get any more 80s than that.
That's very true. And perfect choice, too, because you know that they're all dressed up like the Road Warrior and that.
Yeah.
And some ridiculous dancing. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
get ready.
80s video commentary.
Ladies and gentlemen, countdown to video play in 5, 4, 3, 2, click. All right, so what do you see there, George?
I see 14 million views. Wow.
Yeah, 14,095,955, and a beautiful girl walking down the street with a bus that might come and hit her. Oh, she made it on the bus.
Yeah, she's very
Relaxed.
laid back, relaxed.
Falling asleep.
She's almost.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's up. Good morning. Good morning, Pat. How you doing? It looks like her earring. Oh, she got in a fight with her parents.
Yeah.
And that's where he says, if you leave this house, you're never coming around here again.
And she's singing the lyrics of the song, which makes no sense to her father. And she goes, he goes in again.
But as usual, there's always somebody in the family that connects with her, and it happened to be her younger brother.
Yeah.
Who likes to look out windows, apparently, and doesn't come out and talk to her. Now she's selling herself on the streets because she's young and she wants to be on a battlefield.
She's trying to find a place in the city, to find her place in the city.
Yeah, but there's a guy in a chain belt up the steps. And now she's up on 8th Avenue while her father wonders, where is she and what's she doing? And she keeps falling asleep on trains and dancing in front of people she doesn't even know.
Yeah, I suppose it's New York.
I don't know if it's New York or Mexico.
Okay.
One of the two. Dad can't even finish his dinner.
Dad has guilt all over his face.
He feels terrible, and she has to walk up stairwells without any light.
So she's going to a dance club, a very, promiscuous dance club.
A lot of smokers and a lot of Scarface wannabes in there.
Yeah. And red lights.
And what about her outfit? Isn't that Road Warrior clothes where you just tie T-shirts that you've ripped up to your dress?
Suppose it's the post-apocalyptic fashion sense that in 80s, ruled the world. Anytime now the nuclear bomb will fall on our heads, so we don't have to dress nice.
Appropriately. We have to dress appropriately for that. Get used to the fact that we're going to be tying rags to her clothing. Now there's somebody next to her sticking her knee. Oh, but she's writing a letter to her brother who doesn't seem to want to leave his bedroom.
He lives there all the time.
And
she gets paid for dancing with guys, right?
Right. The same thing like private dancer.
Yeah.
Except her clothes change often. And now she's getting in a fight with Scarface. Al Pacino is getting ready to fight him. And this is where the fight starts because all the women who obviously chose a life as dancers now are revolting.
Yeah. We have a mutiny.
And what do? They shake their boobs at him. That's what you do. You shake your boobs at the bad boss who is stuck
The
against
bad
the-
boss who has the golden teeth.
Yeah, his,
You know.
well, that's for opening beers for the customer.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
So
And apparently shoulder dances were very important in the 80s.
I think some of the fashion sense is very relevant these days, right?
Nowadays,
In this-
yeah.
Yeah, nowadays.
A lot of Mardi Gras beads.
Yeah.
And apparently, it seems like whenever there's an issue in the 80s, what did you do? You get a whole bunch of people to do dance moves with you to
Yeah.
resolve that issue.
You can see it in Michael Jackson's 2 videos.
Right.
You can see it in Beat It and Bad
And Thriller.
and Thriller, which you get eaten alive though, but you know,
Yeah. And
at least you can dance with the zombies.
and look, they quit. They all walked out by shaking their boobs. See, we're taking our boobs with us, and you can't
Okay,
have them.
let me go back just a moment. The same scene it is in Michael Jackson Thrillers where people are walking off screen and
Dance.
shaking their boobs. Yeah, dancing.
That seems to be a dance. And now everybody, it's the end of the video, so everybody's hugging after much. And what they want to do is press their boobs together because that seems to save their lives. Their boobs save their lives.
And she seems to, you know, she had enough of this line of work and she's off to another city to find her Prince Charming, right?
Yeah, probably that. Or go back home and she
Oh,
realized she made a dumb mistake trying to dance in a club for other people. And then she falls asleep on the bus. That was a great video.
Yeah, educational. Do not run away from home or else your boobs will have to be shaken.
Shoiken. You turned Irish there for a minute. You ever shake your boobs? He says. Ladies and gentlemen, that video will have, there will be a link in the show notes if you want to watch that with us and enjoy our stupidities and our comments on that. And I thought that was fun. I think I like doing that.
Yeah, it is fun.
I hope the karaoke is in time with the video.
I suppose. Maybe.
We'll see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, we have to interview my co-host, which again is George Papa Theodoro. Let's talk about you, buddy.
And now, before we go, let's interview our guest.
Well, I want to know, when you were born,
I ate a lot, I slept a lot, and I pooped a lot when I was bored.
right? So when did the music kick in?
Honestly,
Honestly, George. Do not lie about this.
I had 2 older brothers, right? So they were very much into music. My mother also is, you know, a great fan of music. She always listened to music. So I think my first encounter of wanting to play music was I've watched the music videos of performances of various bands that my brothers seemed to watch at that time. So I remember that I simulated playing the drums, air drums.
Okay, yeah.
So I've watched the movement of the foot, of the hands. So I simulated that. And it was like 10, 11 years old. That's when I clicked. I wanted to play music.
Oh, wow. So the drums for
I
you,
remember
too.
that.
'Cause that's
Yeah,
where I
it
was.
was
I
the
always
drums.
wanted to play drums.
I've always been, you know, a rhythm section guy. I always loved the rhythm section.
And in your music, you can tell that too, because you are when you write your song, your rhythms and your tempos and your percussion aspects are rich, very rich in your music.
I'm, you know, very minimalistic in my approach, if that is a correct word.
Yeah.
Very,
Less is more kind of thing.
less is more, yeah. But I want a tight rhythm section.
So what instruments do you play all the way? Like what is your list?
I can play, I can carry a beat in drums. I can play bass guitar to support my songs, of course. I can play guitar, which I had lessons back then.
Yeah.
Classical guitar. I took 3 to 4 years classical guitar lessons. I can play piano, which I took lessons also. And that's about it.
Singing. You forgot singing.
Oh, okay. I can sing too. Which I haven't. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Singing, it was something that, came on later on because I wanted to, to be a pop star. I wanted to be that guy that I saw on the screen. So I had to try it. So, the test is to see if women look at you when you sing.
I'm sure they do. Well, my wife does. My wife looks at you and she gets all mushy. Thank God you're all the way over there.
She's adorable. Thank you. So, when you hear yourself singing first time, it's a very awkward and strange feeling. But as time passes, you get used to it and you try to do it even better and even better. So at some point, you can sing.
That's important.
But I think I got from my mother's side because she can sing. She wasn't, a singer, but she could sing at home. I remember her as a child.
Consider that an influence?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Definitely.
When you hear at such young age someone play an instrument or singing, I think it affects your psychology in some way. I don't know exactly.
Right now, what are you working on? What is the newest project? And then after that, I want you to go ahead and tell me all the places that people can find your music.
Right now, I'm trying to conclude my album, which is called No Room for the Romantics. Awesome. Under the name Romantic. And you can find me in SoundCloud, YouTube, Bandcamp, if you want to purchase or download for free any of the albums I've made. And I'm 2 songs away from completing my latest endeavor.
I've heard 1 track already, right?
I think you heard 2 or 3.
Oh, gosh. Okay, then good. I thought those were all separate projects.
No, it's from the same album.
I cannot wait to get the album.
I will send it to you. And at this point, I will have it printed on CD because I want to hand it out to radio stations and people who want to have it for any purpose at all. I will mail you one in the United States.
God bless you. I would love that. I would put it up on my wall with all your posters right here. No, seriously, thank you so much. If I had a hard copy, because I have all of your music in the computer, and
I will send you one,
including stuff that you haven't released and stuff that you've, like you did me the favor for. What did you do the Boys of Summer for? What was that for?
I did Boys of Summer for your show, especially when I did it.
Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air, the sun is out of reach. Empty lake, empty streets, the sun goes down low. I'm driving by your house, don't know you're not home. I can see your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your hair combed back and your sunglasses on, baby. I can tell you my love for you will still be strong after the boys of summer have gone.
The second interview or the first? I can't remember. I think the second one.
Yeah, I think I got you twice in Zerbinatunes, and that's another thing I want to say. If you want to learn more about George, I interviewed you fully. It was your show in Zerbinatunes, which is also available at the Zerbinator Land website, zerbinator.wordpress.com.
Which that track happens to be the most popular track I have ever uploaded on SoundCloud.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Please check that
and
out.
it
It's your version of it.
and it's because of you
No.
that track happened.
I will fail to agree. I think it's your fact. What he did to this song is, you know the song. Well, he split it in
Nobody-
halftime.
Yeah,
You
a
did
ballad.
halftime, and it's more relaxing because of the music and the peacefulness, and it's so relaxing. And it's like nobody thought of that. No one thought to knock it down to halftime, and
Yeah,
you did.
I'm a ballad guy, to be honest. I like ballads.
You a sexy mother effer. Speaking of which, before we go, I would like to take a commercial break.
Okay.
Play
With
it.
your yogurt.
I'm going to play the Atari 2600 commercial that you did with me
Okay.
for my buddy Ferg, and you can see how sexy this mother effer is right here. You know, I like playing Atari.
Ξέρεις, μου αρέσει να παίζω Atari.
And when I'm playing Atari, I like to listen to the 2600 Game by Game podcast.
Και όταν παίζω Atari, θέλω να ακούω το podcast του Atari 2600.
And when I'm listening to that podcast, I like to listen to Ferg Ferguson.
Και όταν ακούω αυτό το podcast, μου αρέσει να ακούω τον Ferg Ferguson.
Only at the 2600 Game by Game podcast.blogspot.com.
Βρείτε το στο Stitcher και στο iTunes.
George, thank you.
Kevin.
Thank you for being on my first episode of Retrovarian.
Thank you for being my friend.
Bless you back. I'm glad you are my friend. Again, we're born on the same day. Our birthday's coming up. What are you going to get me? Because I'm going to get you something.
I'm gonna get you a big hug.
I'm going to give you an Air 5, and then I'm going to take you into the lake here. And
Cool. Oh, I would love that.
because I have
And
a
we'll
waterproof phone, so you can jump right in.
and I will shoot one of your goose.
Sure, and we'll eat it. I would shoot the
No.
swan because that'll make Shelly really happy.
Why?
Because she's in love with the swans. That would just
Yeah,
piss her off.
no,
I'm
no,
joking,
no,
but-
no. I'm just joking.
Me
I
too.
love your lake. I love your, swans. I love the small family that you
You
have
saw
right
the
now.
video of that one?
Yeah. It was adorable.
Gosh,
Don't go near them because they bite.
Yeah, Shelly was out there taking pictures, for those who don't know, of a swan family. And little tiny puppy swans, I'll call them, because they were all fuzzy. And the swans, every time she got close, they would go...
Yeah, they make that very, dreadful noise that
Yeah.
when they feel, frustrated or
threatened. Yeah, they just
threatened.
go
Yeah,
nuts.
threatened.
But...
So,
All right, so next time that you hear George on this particular show, I'm sure it would be for the band.
Duran. Yeah.
That'll be the next time that you co-host on our show.
Okay.
For this one, definitely.
I'm in.
Good.
I'm
I hope
definitely
you are.
in.
Well, until next time, this is my beautiful co-host saying,
Kalinikta.
what does that mean?
It means good night.
Awesome. And here it is, the new song by George Papatheodoro called
Sign of the Times.
Sign of the Times. Thank you, George.
Impressed skinny man died of a big disease with a little name. By chance his girlfriend came across an needle and soon she did the same. At home there were 70-year-old boys and their idea of fun was being in a gang called the Disciples high on crack and some of the machine gun. Time church and kill everyone inside. You turn on the telly and every other story is telling you somebody died. Sister killed her baby cause she couldn't afford to feed and been sending people to the moon. September my cousin tried reefing for the very first time. Now it's doing horse. It's June. Time. Rocket ship explodes and everybody still wants to fly. Some say it may not happen unless a man truly dies. Oh my time. Shine it on. But if the night falls and the bomb falls, will anybody see the dawn? Time.
You can find all of George Papatheodore's music at romantiquemusic.bandcamp.com or at soundcloud.com/romantiquemusic.
All of Zerbinator's music and podcasts are under the Creative Commons license, which allows retelling and rebroadcasting as long as the author is notified and credited. For more great escape pods, please visit www.zerbinator.wordpress.com. If you would like to contact Zerbinatorland, you can send an email to instrumentally@gmail.com or give us a call at 571-408-ZERB or 9372.